Action.
Hi, welcome back to YouTube Dad. Today we're going to perform our Thanksgiving edition and give you a few pointers on how to carve a turkey. I have a special guest with me, Cousin Pat, who has a lot of experience in this, but let me tell you, once you see him do this, you'll be able to carve your turkey at home like a professional. So we've already cooked our turkey, and this one was cooked on a grill outside. We happen to be in Lake Arrowhead this weekend, and there's about 18 inches of snow outside, so we're not going anywhere, and it's going to be a wonderful Thanksgiving meal with our freshly carved turkey. So one of the first things you want to do is make sure your turkey is secure and in a place where it's not going to slide off the plate. And if there's any juice in the turkey, you want to make sure that it's in a pan so that juice is captured and it doesn't run all over your counter, because let me tell you, that will make one big mess and it just makes it that much worse. One of the things we like to do with the turkeys, this one doesn't have stuffing in it. Some people prefer that, some people don't. We cook our stuffing outside and then we serve it up separately from our turkey. Today, we're going to start by removing the legs and the wings, which will give us access to the breast meat, and that helps to separate it for when people want to eat the breast, the white meat, or some of the dark meat, and you'll see that later on. So what we have for utensils for cutting, this is our just a serrated knife, which helps go through the skin and go through some of the cartilage and bone that's left for the legs and the wings, as well as a fork to help prevent the turkey from sliding while it's on the plate. So Pat, why don't you go ahead and show them where you're going to start. So we'll start by taking off this leg over here on the side.
We're going to cut the little rope that keeps the legs together, holds all the goodies inside so nothing slips out, right, Ron?
That is right.
Okay.
So make sure before you cook your turkey that it's well cleaned, because part of preparing a good Thanksgiving dinner is to maintain your cleanliness throughout. It's very important. And if you don't do that, what could happen, well, we won't talk about that because that's a whole different YouTube Dad video. But for today, understand that we've maintained cleanliness throughout the whole process, and our turkey doesn't have anything on the inside. So Pat, why don't you explain what's going on as you cut through the turkey?
So we're going to reach around and cut around the leg. We're going to kind of make sure we get down through that skin. And then we're going to take it by our hand, and we're just going to kind of work that joint a little bit. As you can see, there's a little skin here. And it's just going to come right apart, almost by itself. You're cutting around like a ligament. Just gonna take your time and it starts to come loose, you'll see. Get down below here on the back side. Okay, don't want to waste any meat. And sometimes you gotta get a little western with it. You gotta kind of work it. See, like that? Work that joint, right? See? Comes right off one big beautiful piece.
Now, one of the things you're seeing is this turkey is very moist. One of the techniques that we like to use when we're cooking the turkey, we cook it on the grill, which keeps the ovens free for cooking all of those other things. We may show you a little marshmallow cooking a little bit later on that we didn't have much to do with, but we'll point it out. So this cookie is cooked in a pan with water covered with tin foil, and it's all done by thermometer. What you see on the brown and the brown skin is done at the very end. So we maintain moisture throughout the whole process. So it's almost like having a steamed turkey.
Again, kind of work that joint. It's a little ligament that holds it on there.
This is part of our Christmas tree.
Yeah, adds a little nice little flavor. Again, here we go. We kind of work that joint.
Here, let me help you, Pat.
You hold the turkey, and there it is. So for presentation purposes, we like to lay these out here just like so. So we recognize that is definitely the turkey legs. I know some of you have been to a county fair and had a nice little turkey leg, right?
Exactly.
That's what you're getting it from. But in our case, we only have two. We have two wings. Now we're going to work on the wings. Same thing. Just a little ligament that holds them together.
Let me just hold
Kind
that
of work around the bone a little bit there. Kind of have to work it a little bit. Cut the skin. And break the leg. So we like to put this in the other corner. Again, presentation is important.
Now, you'll also notice that we're able to handle the bird with our hands right now. because after it comes off the grill or out of your oven, you want to let it set for a little while, and that allows the bird to maintain its juices before you start cutting, and you can handle the bird. If it's so hot when you start to cut into it, it makes it much more difficult when you go to move the wings and the legs.
So now we're going to go the breast. We're going to start from the outside, work our way to the inside of their rib, of their chest bone. So we're going to slice it a little bit here. Ron's going to take that first slice and taste it and just like tell us all about it.
I'll tell you, this is our first taste of our Thanksgiving turkey for 2019.
What do you think, Ron?
I have to tell you, Pat, this is delicious. I think we've done a wonderful job of maintaining moisture in the bird while still preserving the flavor of a turkey. It's just amazing.
What was the final temperature on that bird?
I believe we were at 180? No, 160. 165.
Yeah.
And that's the importance of using a thermometer when you're cooking these. You can't look at the outside of a bird and know that it's cooked thoroughly through. So we use a thermometer, and we actually just go right through the aluminum foil that we cover the bird with while it's cooking, and we check that about every half hour to make sure that we don't overcook the bird. That's something that happens quite often. People get worried about how they're going to get the bird and making sure it's done, so they don't use a thermometer, they don't check, and then the next thing you know, the meat is very dry. As you can see as he's slicing, it's falling away just like you would see at your local deli department.
So the slice is probably around a 1/4 inch thick. Seems to be the best because it stays nice and moist, easy to chew. As delicate as this bird is right now, it's just amazing. Now look at, you see how that's peeling off really nice? Kind of like a little bit of a, what do you want to call that when everything's a perfect,
Yeah.
it's like when you get a ham and they
It's just spiraling.
spiraling.
Yes.
Thank you for that word. I couldn't spit that out. Sorry, Uncle Pat's.
It's just sometimes I understand.
Yeah, sometimes that happens.
Now, some people prefer to carve the bird at the table. I just think that when you do it in the kitchen, it allows you a little more flexibility, and really there just isn't as much pressure to make sure you do it right. So we don't want Thanksgiving to be a lot of pressure. Thanksgiving is about getting together with friends and family and making sure that you enjoy the day and not making it all about cooking, but make sure you're sharing the time together. What have you experienced with that, Pat?
Same thing. It is about eating though. I'm not gonna lie. Look at Uncle Pat's belly, because he don't lie. That belly don't lie. Belly don't lie. So here we go. We're gonna take this half of the bird. Look at that. Look how nicely that's coming. Ron,
That's just beautiful.
what do you think?
I think you've done a wonderful job.
Did you wash your hands?
Of course I did. As part
That's
of
what I thought.
maintaining
Explain that.
cleanliness, it's very important as you go between different things when you're cooking Thanksgiving and when you're getting ready to carve that you wash your hands. So we call it cross-contamination. You want to make sure that you don't do that as you're moving through cooking your meal, right? Because we have mashed potatoes, we have sweet potatoes, we have marshmallows, which are a little burnt, but we do have marshmallows. And you'll see those marshmallows in a little bit. So yeah, we want to prevent cross-contamination between our foods.
So now we can start to take the meat out. It's very steaming hot, just so you know, even though we let the bird rest a while. So we're gonna start taking the meat out in pieces. It's so tender, it's falling off the meat. It's really very hot. But we're going to now place this nicely on the plate.
And remember, as you're putting your meat out for, we'll call it for display, it's important that you take pride in how it's displayed and how you put it out to the people that have come to enjoy the meal with you.
Presentation is everything. It just seems that even as good as it's going to taste, no matter what, it tastes even better.
Tastes even better. I agree.
We're going to go in here and kind of carve this meat out. It's still attached to the bone. As you can see, I'm kind of slowly cutting through it right here at the bottom, right at the hip bone or the wing bone. We're going to lay it right in there. There we go.
Okay, so what we've shown you is basically make sure you have your pan to capture the oils or greases that may come out of the bird as you're cutting the bird. Make sure you have the proper tools. Make sure your knife is sharp. Remove the wings and the legs. That'll give you access to the breast area. Let your bird rest after it's been cooked. Make sure your presentation is there. It's a very important meal of the day. So with that, the other side of the bird is carved exactly how we've done this side. We want you to enjoy your Thanksgiving. And from YouTube Dad, we'll see you next time.
Cheers.